Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Saturday. It's Daryl here. Happy Christmas Eve. It's 3:45 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. All right. Sometimes the best way for me to do these videos is give you my whole stream of thought, how I came about to get this idea for this video. I had a recollection. It was a fond memory that I really had forgotten all about. And the more I thought about it, it got there's embarrassing parts to it. So this is going to be kind of one of those confessionals. I swear to God, I had forgotten about all of this. It goes all the way back to when I was 14 years old and my first kiss. Like I've told you guys before. First of all, I've talked to you guys about being sexually abused when I was younger, and the stuff that happened. I talked to you guys about how I really lost my virginity, and I don't know about other people that have been abused, but you put that aside. I don't remember that as my first intimacy, my first kiss, and all that stuff. That was not intimacy. That was abuse. I imagine other people probably think of it this way too. So today I was remembering my first kiss, and this is how this came about. I was actually reading an article about NICK FUENTES. It'll be right down below. I actually didn't read the whole article because I started thinking, and I remember I had this fond memory that I'm going to tell you guys about. So this article, like I said, it's down below. It's a Mother Jones article, and it talks about how NICK FUENTES is recruiting young men, incels. And as I started reading it, I tend to forget. I'll make fun of them and make some videos about them, but I tend to forget how vile and when I read this, I see the way that he uses hate and aggression and fear to his own benefit, kind of like Donald Trump. But anyway, that's probably a compliment to him. Anyway, I'm reading this article, and I'm reading some of the racist, misogynistic stuff. Like I said, I tended to forget how bad some of the stuff those guys say is. And I remembered my first kiss. Now, when I was 14, I told you guys, I kind of moved to the rough side of town. I grew about a foot. I lost about 90 pounds. My freshman year in high school, I became much more popular. I started dating. And this was right at the beginning of that. And most of my relationships were innocent. Like the first time I remember at the same time, I took a girl I was interested in to the junior high school prom. And these were all kind of innocent, chaperoned relationships. I want to tell you about my very first kiss, like real kiss, like French kiss. And it was with a black girl from the islands, like Jamaican. And I was in junior high school with her. I had totally forgotten about this. It was a little quick romance we had when I just first started dating. Let me tell you about it. Okay, like I said, I moved to the tougher side of town after my father had died, and there was a drive-in theater about a mile or two down the road from where I lived. So me and my best friend at night, like on a Friday night, would get on our 10 speeds and I'd get our backpacks. And I think later on we started, like when we were 15 or 16, we started putting like half pints of different beverages in our backpacks. But this was before that. This is only when I was about 13 or 14. And we put our backpacks in there, and we pedal our 10 speeds down and put the 10 speeds on the side in the bushes and sneak into the drive-in. I don't know, some of you guys are probably so young, you probably don't even know what a drive-in theater is. Look it up. Look it on Wikipedia. So we'd sneak in, and this is one of those times, I don't remember the movie we were watching. But me and my best friend, it was dark. It was probably the first movie. And we were sitting on a big generator right where the movie comes out of the movie house. For the people that actually went to drive-in theaters, the beam comes out of the concession stand, the movie theater, the big brick building. This was a double drive-in theater. And we were sitting on this generator right where the beam was coming out above our heads and hitting the screen. And I had a crush on a girl, She was I remember her being in my art class, and we would sit next to each other. And she was a black girl. She was one of the very few black girls in my school. There was probably only about maybe 3 black kids in my grade. And there was 2 black girls and probably 2 black guys. That was about it. And the rest were all Caucasian, and mainly Caucasian. And I had a crush on her. I remember sitting next to her in my art class in like 8th grade. And she was tall, and she, even at 14, she reminded me of a model. She was tall and shapely like a Coke bottle. And I remember doing my art project and peeking over, like, looking down and just, being 14 years old, and then hearing her accent from the islands. And she was always smiling and always laughing. I just had a wicked crush on this girl. All right. So fast forward to me and my friends sitting at the drive-in. We're sitting there and we're watching the movie, and I hear my name called, Daryl. And I look over and it's Georgia, this black girl. And she comes over and she's smiling and laughing with that Jamaican accent as usual. And she comes up, she's standing really close to me because we always kind of flirted, but we were young, so it was all innocent. And she told me that she was at the movie theater with her family. She just left her family in the car to go to the concession stand. And we started talking. I don't know how it kicked in and how it happened, but the next thing, we're close. We're very close. We're kissing. And my friend is still sitting, he's just like, sitting on the generator. Well, me and Georgia start kissing. This was my very first kiss ever. And I just remember feeling her body next to mine. And, and we're just, it's just this, I remember her lips being so soft. And the lights are up, and all of a sudden it goes through my head. I think I know her father, she talked about her father being very strict. I seem to remember him being a reverend or something like that. So all of a sudden, the fear of God comes in me, because I'm like, oh my God, they're going to realize she's gone to the concession stand for a long time. And next thing, I'm just waiting for this father to come up behind me and pull me off the daughter. But when you're that age, it doesn't matter. So it just felt like this is, the first kiss, and the lips are so soft, and that curvy Coke bottle body next to mine. I was just in heaven. And I know there was people all walking back and forth, and here's these 2 14-year-olds just going at it. And that was the first kiss, but I had totally forgotten about this. So, eventually she's like, I should go to the concession stand and get back. And she did. But I didn't get her phone number, and I had totally, this is the embarrassing part. I had totally forgotten all about this. I don't know how I did this. So I wanted to get her phone number, and I think this was during the summer break, so I had no way, I didn't know where she lived. Her phone number was unlisted. I didn't know where she lived. I didn't know how to get a hold of her. Like I said, we were on summer break, and back then there's no cell phones. With her number being unlisted, I knew the town she lived in, and that was about it. And I can't believe I did this. And this is the embarrassing part. I called up one of her friends. She had, a group of friends, and I knew, her basic group of friends. And I called up one of her girlfriends, pretending to be another one of her girlfriends. I can't believe I did this. I've never told another soul this, probably except for my best friend back then. So I talked in a high voice. I don't know how I did it. At 14, my voice maybe was higher. I don't know. And I pretended to, hey, I swear to God I did this. I said, I've lost George's number. Can you give me it? I can't even do it now. I swear to God I did this. I pretended to be one of her girlfriends, calling one of her other girlfriends, and I asked for George's number. And I was just really quick about it. Hey, can you give me George's number? This is Sandy. And I got it. Maybe I didn't ever even fool them. Maybe they knew it was me. They probably, looking back, they probably did. And they probably all laughed about it. Maybe they thought it was cute. I don't know. Maybe they thought, I don't know. It's kind of stalkerish. But I got her number. I called her up, and I can't remember. This is 40 years ago. 40-something years ago. I can't remember how I told her I got her number. because she asked, and I don't remember what I said, but I met her at the local library for like a month. Probably every day at the library, we would sit at the library tables, and we would just start, we'd wait till there was nobody around. We'd start kissing and making out, her sitting in one chair, me sitting in the other chair, then we'd break apart when somebody would walk by. How we never got in trouble or yelled at or, not because of anything interracial, but just because two 14-year-olds going at it at a conference table in the town library. But we never did. And eventually, I don't know what happened. I don't remember. It was just a short romance. And then, like I said, this is just when I first started, losing my innocence, started dating at 14. And then I moved on. She moved on. I remember seeing her at a local mall when I was in my 20s, I think it was. And she told me she was married with 5 kids. And I have no idea. I've looked her up on Facebook. I don't know whatever happened to her. I don't know where she went. I'd love to talk to her again. But anyway, this all came to mind. My first kiss, an interracial kiss. And it was a great one. And and by the way, she told me I was a great kisser. I don't know. They probably all say, girls probably tell all the guys that, but it was my very first kiss, and I was afraid I was being sloppy and, But she told me I was a great kisser, and she certainly was a great kisser. I just remember how soft those lips were. So my first kiss ever at 14, first real French kiss was with was an interracial. Was with a beautiful, funny, charming black girl from the islands with a Jamaican accent named Georgia. Any of the people there's some people from high school that watch my channel, they'll know who I'm talking about. All right, you guys have a good Christmas Eve.